Hello, and welcome back to the Magickry test world. This is the third Magickry Devlog, and I've made a few changes. I got rid of a couple old systems and added a few new things. So the first thing I did was remove the research system thing, and I added a similar thing using the old model for the scroll, change it up a little bit. We'll get to that in a minute. So I removed the bench, the inscription table, and added the enchanted workbench, which is just a regular GUI workbench thing that allows us to use these materials right here. More on those in a moment. But I also changed the model for the rune carver. It works exactly the same, so if I bring a rune over here, a rune stone, I put it on, and then I can work with it using the chisel. I changed how the rune stones are found, though. You can no longer craft them with stone. Instead, you have to find rune stones in chests. And those will be in things that are themed to be, I guess, older structures. So stuff like desert temples, jungle temples, strongholds, maybe bastions. I'm not sure yet. But I have added a couple runestones that you can actually craft with these. Those being the runestone of coloration, the runestone of absorption, and the runestone of agility. So, let's say, for example, you want to craft a runestone of coloration. First thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a blank runestone. Put it on here, and then make sure you have some kind of die in your offhand. Hold this, and then click on it. It'll consume the die, and then you'll be able to make this. So the runestone of coloration is able to dye blocks that could normally be dyed. So you have to crouch and left shift on, you have to crouch and click to cycle the color, and this description will change based on what controls you have. So it can change through all the 16 dye colors, I believe that's how many there are. So maybe I want light blue concrete instead of white, and maybe some blue, maybe some purple. You get the idea. And then I could cycle back to white to change them all back. And this will work on any of the dyeable blocks except for beds and banners, I believe. So that's that. There's also the runestone of absorption, which I might change this probably to absorb fluid in a larger radius, but it'll absorb water or lava, and that uses a sponge to craft. And then there's the runestone of agility, which gives you jump boost and speed for a little bit, for 30 seconds, but for 15 seconds after that, you'll be slowed. So kind of a fatigue after the effect ends. And right now, each of these runestones have 100 uses. That also might change. They might be unbreakable, or maybe I'll give them different durability based on what they are, what they do. So that's the main working feature at the moment. And then there's the enchanted workbench, which allows me to use NBT items in the crafting. So normally I wouldn't be able to use the blank runestone in here in a regular crafting table. So this will allow us to craft cool things using cool items. So I have changed the recipe of the rune chisel. I haven't updated in this advancement, but the rune chisel is crafted like this. You're going to need a runestone. And then, oh right, maybe. It's like this. There. So it'll automatically pop out, and this allows you to craft stacks of them at a time if you want. And then you can also craft the rune carver like this. The rune carver now uses a runestone, so you'll have to find one to make it. Otherwise, the recipe is pretty much the same as before. And the final item that you can craft in the enchanted workbench right now is the soul scythe. So you'll need 3 phantom membranes, 2 sticks like this, and a feather. And then you'll get this scythe. It does 8 attack damage and 0.6 attack speed. So that's slightly slower than, let's see, an axe, for example. but it does have the sweeping edge of a sword. So if I get out some zombies, then we can see that this will work like a sword with a sweeping edge, and you can give it sweeping in all the normal sword enchantments as well. But the main point of this is that you can kill monsters to collect their souls. Like this. The stronger the monster, the higher chance they have of dropping these soul droplets. So if we kill zombies, they have a 5% chance to drop 1 to 2 of these. If we were to kill something like a wither skeleton or a blaze, they'd have a higher chance. And if we kill bosses like the wither or elder guardian or the piglin brute, although it's not, I wouldn't really call it a boss, it is unique to their structures. There's only a couple of them, and they're quite tough, so these guys are guaranteed to drop some souls. Oops, he transformed. There we go. So he dropped 8 soul droplets. This guy dropped a captive soul. And these soul droplets are essentially soul nuggets. So you would craft 9 of these together to create the captive soul. And these are going to be used to craft some of the cool items. And this is... well, I'm going to keep this a secret for now. And the final thing that has changed is these secrets. And the resonance projector is an item that you can obtain. And the resonance projector is crafted like this. You'll need a skulk shrieker, a skulk catalyst, a block of skulk, and 6 echo shards to make it. 4 echo shards, actually. And if you try to craft it, it'll turn back into its constituent parts. And you'll receive a little message. You do not understand the secrets to crafting this. So what you'll need to do first is go down into an ancient city, and you'll want to find the Scroll of Secrets. So these will spawn in any ancient city chest at a 10% chance. That seems kind of rare, I think, but also ancient cities have many, many chests in them. Probably like 30 chests. I don't know for sure, but it seems like you'd be able to find 1 or 2 in each ancient city at least. And once you have this, you can... default setting is right-click to gain new knowledge. And now I've gained knowledge. And with this knowledge, we can now craft the resonance projector. Once you use this, you and only you will be able to craft this thing. And if you try to use it again, it'll tell you you already know this secret. So you can give your extra scrolls to your friends so they can craft them. Or if you're greedy, you could sell it. And then you can place the resonance projector down. So this is a skulk-themed plant organism thing, and what it will do is absorb experience. So say if we spawned a zombie, and we kill it next to this thing, it'll absorb that experience. And this little bar will go up the more experience you feed it. So the value of the orb does matter. It'll absorb, I think about 7 levels worth of XP if you're starting from 0. And this bar will gradually fill up. And then you'll see that it changes the tip right here, and it'll emit these little bubble particles. So you click it, and it'll emit a shriek. And if there's stone above it, when it emits that shriek, it'll destroy it. So this includes any natural stone from the overworld, meaning it'll do stone, deep slate, all of the andesite and stuff, and also dripstone. And when you click this, it'll destroy the top 5 blocks above it. And occasionally those blocks will drop ore, so it's completely random. Most of them will drop nothing, but as you can see, we just got some coal. And this time we get a bit of copper. So more valuable ores are rare, and this can drop anything except diamond from ore. And it can also drop echo shards occasionally, so it's a renewable source of those. It'll also drop secret material that's going to be revealed soon. So you can watch for that eventually. And once you use it, it'll close up for 5 minutes. And half of the cooldown later, it'll make a little noise and open up a bit. And then once it's fully cooled down, it'll open up completely, and then it can start accepting XP again. So once this is full, it'll no longer absorb XP, so it won't be taking in excess. And also, while it's on cooldown, it won't be absorbing XP. Finally, if you try to break this thing, it'll only drop part of the things you used to craft it. So this time we got lucky and we got everything except one echo shard. But it may not drop so much. It also has a chance to drop nothing. So make sure you put it where you want it. And that reminds me, another thing that has changed is I have solid blocks underneath these things. In the case of this, I believe it's a lodestone. So once you break it, you no longer punch it and then it would fall over like that. That only happens in creative mode. In survival mode, you would have to, well, you can punch it, but nothing's going to happen. You break this block. And then it'll drop the rune carver. The reason I chose a lodestone is because it's not pushable by pistons, and it also doesn't have a GUI, but it's not as hard as obsidian. So, perfect candidate. And these look kind of cool if you put them next to each other, I guess. Very nice. That about wraps it up for this Magickry Devlog video. Hope you guys thought some of this was cool. If you want to leave some feedback in the comments, or you can join my Discord, which will be linked in the description, and you can leave feedback there and also get updates there every once in a while. More often than these videos come out, probably. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. Goodbye.